Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited to share a couple new products with you today, some sneak peeks of things to come, and some fancy new designer series paper that is available now. My name is Loritamarie Crafts from Loritamarie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Calgary, Alberta. And I'd love to come live so that I can share fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration for you to take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. So this is kind of a fun time of the year for Stampin' Up. We're like, you might have wrapped up all your Christmas projects or you've got some last minute things to do. We have a postal strike here in Canada right now, so I have all these cards that I can't mail out. So I'm trying to be creative and think of other things to do. So that's fun. But we also get to look forward to the new stuff that is coming out in January. So I can show you the covers, but I can't show you inside. But starting January 7th, the brand new January to April mini catalog is coming out. And with this is online exclusives. So now there's always like this pairing up of things in this little physical catalog, plus things that will come up online. And those two together all work together to create a lot of great projects for you, or products for you to use for your projects. And the best thing is Celebration is coming up. So I don't know if you've heard of Celebration. Tell me what you think of it in the comments if you love Celebration. But this is where you can earn free products just with your regular purchases. So for every $75 or $150 that you spend, you can get a free product that's from this little brochure. So I'm showing you two today, and then I'll be showing you a couple next week as well. And so it's gonna be fun to show you some sneak peeks of things in the next few weeks. So I'm gonna have a good time with it. And then today we're going to use this amazing paper that is already available. So you might be confused thinking things aren't coming out till January, but Stampin' Up has released 3 new packs of paper. So what's fun about this paper is that you might be like, does that look slightly familiar to me? It's because they are like favorite patterns from the past that they have recolored. So I'm gonna put you down to my, point the camera down to the desk so that you can see what's going on. So hopefully that looks all right. I'm feeling like a little blurry today, so hopefully that clears itself up. It is a little blurry, isn't it? Okay, so we'll work with what we got here today, but look at this paper. So this used to be black and white. So I don't know if you remember it, and I feel like they changed the name of it, so I don't remember the name, but I definitely remember the pattern. So this is called Serene Love Designer Series paper, and it is obviously in 3 colors, so Old Olive, Lost Lagoon, and Night of Navy. And so you've got these lovely flowers on one side and then some solid patterns on the other side. And so they are great to make projects with because you can cut up the flowers and then you can also use the pattern sides as well. And look at this, awesome with the stripes, love it. So I have got 3 fun projects that we're going to make today with this, and I'm going to be featuring a brand new stamp set as well. So this will be in the new catalog, and hi Meg, and this is called With You in Mind. And this is one of the $1 million stamp sets. So that means a Stampin' Up demonstrator who has reached $1 million in sales, they get this lovely perk of designing or helping to design a stamp set. And I love this one because I love big, bold sentiments that are just easy to use. And then you've got these couple simple accents that you can help you to create simple projects, add a little detail to. But these are like going to be staple sentiments that you can use for so many things, right? So amazing. So we're going to be featuring that stamp set. I'll just put it over here. And then the designer series paper. And what I wanted to do was each project is going to feature one of the colors. So we'll start with navy, move into old olive, and then with Lost Lagoon. And I've got 2 cards in a gift bag. And all the colors are going to be paired up with fresh freesia. So isn't this fun? So I felt like they needed one more color, but I didn't want to go too crazy. So I'm bringing in fresh freesia for a little pop of color. And when I'm choosing my colors, I just kind of see what looks the best with it, right? I hold up the cardstock with the DSP, so I'll bring out the DSP for you and see what's going to look the best. And I gotta say, I pulled out Pretty in Pink first, and it was just a bit too like sweet for what I was looking for, if that makes sense. So it wasn't quite the right tone. So sometimes, just depending on the projects you're gonna make, a pink looks good with navy, but it wasn't quite what I was going for. So we have got a Fresh Freesia card base for the base of our card. So just a regular piece of cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, then scored in half at 4 1/4. And then I am going to use this pattern of the DSP. It's got the lots of flowers on the one side and this on the other. And I'm just going to cut this to kind of like a standard size, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I want to mat this just to create a little more depth, and I'm just going to mat it on Night of Navy, and I've just cut that one. Oh, I've got a mess over here. One sec. All my paper is falling over. I'm going to run it over my chair. Okay, always something. So I've got this mat, so it's 1/8 bigger, so it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. If 1/8 of an inch is too hard for you to line up because it's just a tiny, you can just increase these to 1/4 inch mat sizes, and that's fine. So I am going to put the DSP onto the Night of Navy, but I'm not going to put it onto my card base yet. So these cards are also, the 2 cards I'm going to make are going to have the same layout. So there's this layout that I made a card with last week, and it's going to be on my blog on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. It's a Christmas themed card, but I loved the layout so much that I'm reusing it here. And then you're going to have 3 ideas of how you can use the same layout, and it's so great. And it's my new fave. So you just create a base, and then you add like a big circle to it. So the Spotlight on Nature dies are awesome. This is the biggest one, and it's got the like kind of texture indents on it. And then I've just cut out a big large circle in basic white. So I went ahead and did that already. And then what I want to do is I want to offset it off my DSP. So this is why I didn't want to put this on first. So just a side note. So I'm just going to leave in like maybe 1/2 inch or so. And then we'll put our seal on the back. And then you can just kind of center this off to the left or to the right. That's to the right. And then you just grab your paper snips, and then you can just trim that off. And we're going to keep this off until we're done because everything's going to hang off the edge a little bit. Okay, so with this layout, then we just need a focal point. So we're going to do our sentiment, and then we're going to use some of the flowers. And so I've just got a piece of basic white cardstock here. And then we're going to grab our stamp set and stamp Happy Birthday. And pick this up with our block. I think it fits on this one. What is this one? H. You'd think I would know the names of our blocks, but I don't. I can never remember which one's which. Okay, so I'm going to stamp in Night of Navy. Just trying to decide the order I want to do this in. I think I'm going to color a bit of background first. So I'm going to grab Fresh Freesia. I don't think that was the blending brush I wanted. That looks too blue. I just have a pile that are kind of like, I just keep them in the tones. Once in a while I wash them out. I'm just going to grab some scrap paper here. This one's got lots of stuff on it, but... So what I want to do is instead of just stamping the sentiment onto plain white, I am going to add a little bit of color in the background. And so I'm going to use my Fresh Freesia, and hopefully this doesn't shake everything too much for you on the camera. But then we're going to add a little color to the background here for us to stamp on. So you just keep going in circles until you're kind of happy with how dark it looks. And I just find sometimes, like, I love heat embossing, right? So I'm usually heat embossing my sentiment And then when I stamp just the color on white, sometimes I feel like it's a little too stark and I want to add another color. And I just want to tie this fresh freesia into different places on the card. And so this is one way that we can do that. And it just kind of creates like a subtle background. So when you're kind of happy with that, now we can ink up our sentiment and Night of Navy. And I'm going to lean over here, get this centered. There, isn't that a fun sentiment? Ooh, I love these. So I love that we've got the script paired with the block letters. It looks so great. And I'm going to be putting this on the card. So I think I need to trim off a little bit on there. It's sticking out a bit too far. And I'm wondering if this is a bit wide. So let's see what I've got here. So it's 2 inches. I feel like it's taken up too much real estate. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit. And then it's kind of making it like about 1 3/4 inches wide. And then I'm just going to trim off some of the excess here. And then I can trim off the other end once I get it onto my card. So we have that. And then now we're going to add some flowers onto this. So I was going to grab the paper. It's a good thing you can't see what I'm doing behind the scenes here. Where's my paper? So we got this awesome paper that we can just cut out, right? So that's awesome. So we're just going to snip this, just fussy cut these out any way that you like. And you can cut out, so there's a double, so there's a single. Sorry, my camera doesn't look very clear today. And then I've got this one here that's a bit larger. So this, you could just do one, right? Like that looks good already. I wonder if I could bring my camera down, but then it would be bumpy. Sorry. Oh, try not to be a perfectionist about the video here. Okay, so this would look really good. Or we're going to pair up 2. And I'm going to leave these uncolored, but I'm going to show you 2 different tips that you can do. So you can use your blending brush, again, just like we were doing. So you can grab your fresh freesia or whatever color that you're doing. And let's grab this a little bit. And then you can just add color with your blending brush. And so there's smaller ones too, right? So the smaller one might have been better for this. And then you can just go on with your blending brush and you can add on your color that way. And so if you just don't want it white, then you can add a little bit of color. See how, I think my camera's too far away today. Okay, then the other way, of course, is your blends. So you can color it with your blends, and I'm going to do that later to show you, but I've just thought I'd leave these ones just with the white for now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put dimensionals on the back. And we'll start by just plunking these all on. Okay. So how's everyone doing? Is it hard to believe that Christmas is less than 2 weeks away? I'm finding it hard to believe. My kids have been home sick. Every day feels a little strange, like it's not quite a normal day, so I don't really know what's going on anymore. So we'll get there. We'll be ready eventually. So I'm going to, just so I'm lining this up, I'll just, you can put dimensionals on the back of your sentiment, or I'm going to just like fit them in around this flower. And then this one does look a little simple because I didn't color the flowers, but I'm going to show you my sample, which I did color. So I'm just going to line this up till I'm happy. And then everything that's hanging off the side, then we can just go ahead and trim that off to size. And bring that up so you can see. It looks so good, right? I mean, navy is one of my favorite colors in card making, in clothes. So I was very thrilled to see this paper in navy. I was like, oh, I love it. And it was even better once I received it, got it in person. So we've got it on our card base. And then now to tie in our fresh freesia, I have got a sneak peek of the Celebration product here to show you. So the paper is available now. Stamp sets coming in January in the catalog. And then Celebration are the items that you can earn for free when you purchase in January. And so these are the adhesive back gems. Seriously, is it blurry for you guys? Okay. And they are in, no, it's not on here. Okay, so they're in Berry Burst, Fresh Freesia, Bubble Bath, and White. And so it is perfect for our card here, and it's going to be perfect for lots of different things. I have already been using it on a few different things, and it matches everything. So anything that has a hint of pinkish that you want to tie in, then the sequins look amazing. So that is our first card, but now let's show you stepped up with the blends. So here is the one with the blends, and I just colored with the dark fresh freesia and the light old olive. Keep it simple, but you can get as fancy with your blends as you like. So you can see that that kind of just steps it up a bit. So that is our first card. And now for our second one, like I said, we're going to do the same layout, but just tweak it up a bit. So this time we're going to be focusing on this lovely old olive paper. And I'm still going to tie in the fresh freesia. And so we've got the same measurements as before. So our DSP, I'm going to use this striped one as a background, is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And then the fresh freesia is just 1/8 bigger, so 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. We're going to put the DSP on like before, but not on the card so that we can get that circle hanging off the end. And let's see if I can line that up. Let's say I wanted to take it off, but now it's stuck there. Okay, it's good enough, but it's stuck there. And then this time, instead of cutting my circle in white, I'm going to cut it out of this patterned paper. So I do need to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So let's do that. Try not to drop everything here. And we're going to use the same size of circle from those Spotlight on Nature dies. Just going to turn the handle the other way. So I've got my platform 1, 2, 3. Get my DSP. Get our die. Oops. And I've just got it on the DSP there. And then we'll just run it through. And then now, so this way, instead of like having to fussy cut out those flowers, say you hate fussy cutting and you're like, Lori, why are you fussy cutting all the time? You can just cut out the flowers with the shape, and then we can avoid the whole fussy cutting situation. So let's grab our paper, and then we're going to put this on. I do kind of want to have the pattern a certain way, so we'll do the same thing where we leave off a little bit off the side. And we're just putting that flat on. And then we're going to do our sentiment. I am going to emboss this one, so we get to emboss together today. This time I'm going to use the thank you. So you can interchange any of these. I kind of designed this in a way where this could be long or it could be short. That way you could fit the longer sentiments or the smaller ones. So they're all going to fit. So that's kind of why I didn't cut out a die shape or anything for the sentiment. This way it's really flexible. So I just got a piece of crumb cake. I just using my embossing buddy just to kind of like resist the powder. And then I just got my white powder here, and I always kind of leave mine in a tray. And I'm going to ink it up in Versamark, stamp it on the cardstock, and then just sprinkle on some. And you can, I've been using it a lot the last couple of days, which is why I've got a whole bunch in this tray here. And then just kind of lightly tap off. And then I'll smooth it out of the way so I don't spill it everywhere. Make sure you always close your Versamark up so it doesn't dry out. And then we're going to grab our heat tool. And just takes a second here. We're going to put number 2, and we're just going to heat set this. So once it comes up to the heat, then it goes pretty quickly. Okay. All done. And so we're going to be putting that on. And I feel like that's a bit long again on this end. So let's see if I can cut it straight today. We'll just trim that off a little bit. And then it needs something else, right? So this time I didn't cut out the flowers, and so I thought I would add some ribbon. So this is another sneak peek of some amazing celebration products. So this is the Fresh Freesia Seam Binding Ribbon. So you may have seen this ribbon in the past. I think we had it in white a few years ago. It was really light and a little bit like wrinkly looking, which is kind of fun. And it's just so easy to work with because of the texture of it. And so I think on my sample, I had wrapped it around, but I'm not sure it's worth the effort of wrapping it around the paper or anything, because we kind of hide it with the sentiment cardstock. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie a bow. And something like that. I've been lamenting my bow tying skills lately, and I keep wondering why this is not something that improves over time. I don't know if you've seen the trend of where you put like velvet ribbon bows on your Christmas tree. So I wanted to do that this year. So then I had to tie a whole bunch of bows. That's like, why can't I tie bows? But it's possible nobody else would notice except for me. So it probably looks fine. Okay, so we're going to put this on, and it's just kind of going to look like it's tucked in. I think I'm going to trim a little bit more off this. This is just me being a little particular. And we're going to add our dimensionals on the back of that again. And just make sure I'm on the right side. Oops. And then obviously we don't want to go too far because we're going to cut that off. And like I said, you could tie, if it's easier, you could wrap the ribbon around, but I just found that it's kind of like hiding anyway. So we will, I think I want to put it on first though. You can use glue dots, a little bit of tear and tape would work. And we're just going to kind of put it on the side there. Then we're going to put our sentiment on. Then we'll turn it over and trim off all our excess. So same layout as the first card, but just tweaking a few things to make it look a little different. And then we're going to pull out those sequins again. And this time I'm going to use like the white ones because they're a little bit iridescent, and so they're a little shiny. And I love iridescent gems. Those are always my favorite gems because they just take on the color of whatever you use them with. So if there's iridescent anything, don't be afraid to get them, because the shininess, it'll pull blue, it'll pull green, it'll pull purple, it'll just go with whatever you put it with. So it's a definite favorite of mine. Okay, so there's our second one. And now we're going to make a cute gift bag. So this is a bag. If you've been around Stampin' Up! For a while, you have probably seen this, maybe made it. Maybe you have never seen it before. This is why I love just to kind of go back to some favorites, because you never know. So this is the kind of bag that you make with your designer series paper. So I'm going to need my paper trimmer. And this time we're going to be featuring that Lost Lagoon, right? So we wanted to use all the patterns. So this one, there's also, oh, I need to pull out the other paper. So there was this one here. This one I'm going to use for the bag. And then it's got these flowers with that pattern on the back. So you've got a couple choices there. And so this is just cut 6 by 12. So I wanted to just use the whole paper. And it's nice because this paper is not really directional, so I don't have to worry about that. And then we just need to do some scoring. So the bag is going to sit like this. So this is actually the top and bottom. So we're going to score 1 inch on either side like this. So just down the length there. And then we're going to turn it, and we need to score it a few times. And fingers crossed, I've got all my measurements right today. So we're going to start at 1 3/4, 5 3/4, 7 1/2, and 11 1/2. Okay, so that should be right. I'm saying this because when I was making my samples, it's like I kept getting things wrong, and I don't know why. So we're actually going to fold one of these down because it becomes like a little border on your gift bag. So cute. I have made these a lot at Christmas time in the past to put a little favor in. They are perfect. So you can kind of tweak them to make them the size that you want. And then you can just put like a little treat inside, a little cellophane bag of goodies. Okay, and then we're just going to go along all of our score lines here and kind of burnish our folds, is what we call it. And then this one. Okay. Okay, so which is the one that we folded down? So we folded this one down. So the 1/2 inch piece becomes our flap. So this is what holds the bag together. And so I'm going to put a little bit of tear and tape just underneath so this kind of stays put. Or you could use Seal Plus too. Oops. And just get that to go on straight. And then the bottom little piece I don't actually need, so I'm going to cut up straight up that score line. You can see that. And then we're going to wedge this out. Okay, so this becomes the piece that holds, I think actually I wanted the tear and tape on this end. So this is the piece that holds it all together. So now we need to go up our other score lines. So sometimes they're a little hard to see, but we're just going to snip directly up to create the flaps that was going to make the bottom of our box. And now we can just put it together. Okay, so I'm going to put a little tear and tape under here. Okay, so hold that down. Then on the outside of our little 1/2 inch flap, I'm going to, sorry, just keep flipping this around on you. We're going to put our tear and tape on that. And then you can kind of just like fold it up like this, and so that you can get this lined up. Just so. Okay. See how it's coming together? And then this is all just going to fold in. So I'm going to just put tear and tape along this one to seal up. And it's always harder on video. Get the right angle here so you can still see what I'm doing. So we'll put some tear and tape on there. Peel that off. Okay, and then we'll just, it'll just fold up. Then you can lay it down and just kind of use anything to kind of secure that. So sometimes I like to put a piece of cardstock on the bottom of the inside so that everything just has a little more stability on the bottom. So you could just grab, I think I forgot to pull some out, but I would just cut a piece of Lost Lagoon so it matches, and then you just cut it a little bit smaller. So this is, the bag is 4 by 1 3/4, so you would just cut it like slightly less than 4 by 1 3/4, and then plunk it in there, and it's going to fit great. And so now we need to make a tag for this. Of course we do. And so to create like a similar look to what we've been doing, because this is like taking a layout idea and then just kind of using the same idea, I've cut out a circle again, but this time it's small, but it's going to create the base of our design. Then we're going to do our sentiment. And I think I'd like to do what I did the first time. So we're going to grab our fresh freesia again, and then just use your blending brush to add a little color to the background. This is like an extra step. You don't have to do it, but I just like bringing in kind of that extra color to the background. So then you can decide how dark you want that to be. And then we'll grab another one of our fabulous sentiments here from the With You in Mind stamp set. So I'm going to use Best Wishes. And we'll just pick up another block here, and we'll stamp this in Night of Navy again, just so it's going to pop a little bit better. Just Lost Lagoon is a little soft. So we'll just do that. Okay. And then I'm just going to trim this off a bit. I just had these 2-inch strips of cardstock kind of left over from something else, so I've just been using them up. So you can cut it kind of to any width that you want. I'm going to create a banner edge. So I just snip up the middle, and then I take the corners, meet them up there, and then create a banner. The key is not to be too fussy about perfection. And then I feel like I made this a little long, but so we're going to put this on, but we're going to hide it behind some flowers. So just like we did with the navy, you've got this lovely paper that you can cut out, right? And so I've cut out a single one here just to show you quickly. So you can just use your blends right onto it. So I used Lemon Lolly, but Daffodil Light would look good too, just to color the center. And then use Fresh Freesia to color the flower. And so you can just color right on this with your blends, which is awesome. Just note that it will bleed through, so you don't want to have, like, you don't want to be showing off the back side per se. Just when you use your Stampin' Blends on DSP, it will bleed through. Okay, so I'm just going to try to go quickly just to show you. But I love blends, right? Because it's so easy, and obviously it's meant to just have the color all bleed together with no marker lines. That's the whole point. And so you don't have to be an expert at all. It's going to turn out lovely. So that's what I love about it. And then I'm going to use Old Olive, since that's the other color in the Designer Series paper pack, so that I know that it looks good. I already know that it matches. If you ever have trouble with matching colors up, then Stampin' Up with their Designer Series paper does half the battle for you, right? Where they've got colors that look good together, so you can always draw your ideas from there. And then you can fussy cut this out with your scissors. I went ahead and did the one that was 3 flowers, just so we had a bigger kind of collection of flowers to work with. So it's kind of going to look like this. And like I said, mine's a little bit big, but we can make it work. And then we're going to use that seam binding ribbon again. So let's put this all together. So I'm actually going to grab a couple of dimensionals, and I'm going to put them right on my bag. Okay. And then we'll put our circle on first. Done. And then I'm going to put, trying to find my seal. It's hiding under something. How does that even happen so quickly, right? Okay. I don't know where I want to put it. So we're going to grab the Seal Plus. Put a little bit on the back. Then we're going to put that on next. Then I'm going to cut a couple pieces of the seam binding ribbon. So I just kind of want 2 loops. I don't know if we can see that enough. And you can just do 1, but sometimes I like to do 2, and then we've got lots of tails. So it just makes it look a little bit more full. And then I'm going to grab tear and tape because ribbon sticks really well to tear and tape. And then we'll just peel off the backings. And then just kind of create a loop. Like, it's so light to work with, so just kind of plunk it down. And then we're going to get our dimensionals again. And sometimes it's easier to put them right on your project because then you know you're not going over. So I'm going to just go ahead and put those right on there. And then we can just stick our flowers exactly where we want them. So we're not covering up the sentiment. And then I feel like my tail is a bit long, right? That's sticking out kind of far. So I would make that a little bit shorter. And then we need our gems again, right? So maybe let's use the pink ones this time. So you can put them right on the bag too. One down there. And then one up here. And we have our lovely gift bag. So it's a nice size. It's going to sit up nice on its own. And then you can fit a great a little gift in there for somebody. Oh, look at Meg. It was sitting there the whole time. Oh my goodness. Could be one of those days. All right, let's bring back the cards. So we've got our cute little gift bag. We've got the thank you card. And we've got our happy birthday card. And so this one you can either color or not color your flowers for stepping it up a little bit. Same with this one. You could add a little color to the background of that, or you could fussy cut out some flowers. But there is our projects today, featuring some fun new products. So I'm going to apologize for my video quality today. I feel like it was a little blurry, so sorry about that. But hopefully you got some good ideas of layouts, color combos, seeing that new paper in person, and falling in love with some celebration products that are coming out soon in January. If you ever want the details when you sign up for my email list, then you get a PDF of my projects here on Thursdays. Or you can always check out the replay, of course, and all the kind of the basic info and the photos and stuff are always on my website. So I hope you guys are doing great, that you're having a great December, staying healthy, and looking forward to all the fun in the next few weeks. And I will be back next week for my last one before Christmas. And I have got another fabulous celebration product to share with you with super cute cards. I can't wait to share those ones with you. So I will see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.